I'll just jump straight into it, trusting you can see my screen. My current role is a technical director of cybersecurity for the NextGen Group, and we are, with our friends at Micro Focus, proud platinum sponsors to this amazing event. Now, this position allows me the privilege to be here today and on my day-to-day talking to forward-thinking, creative and amazing people like yourselves as I assist in the transformational change to which we look at, implement and assess our cybersecurity postures in organizations looking to secure their digital ecosystem from the vast, ever-changing and critically unique threat landscape. Now, I say unique because while some of the tool sets in organizations might be household names, the definition and the application of them is never the same. Now, you've heard from some great speakers today on a range of topics, but I wanted to take you on a bit of a different journey. I don't have much time with you today, but I want to leave you with a brief background on why my history in the Special Forces and the mindset that I had to adopt played such a defining role in how I approach cybersecurity. As you can see, the beard is a little bit grayer and the piercing stare has been replaced with a smile. This was me in Afghanistan in 2013 at the tail end of an action-packed tour. I spent a decade serving in the Australian Army and the lion's share of that within the Special Forces community that I supported across the globe in wartime, peacetime, enabling and training roles within different Special Forces units across the globe again. Over those years, I took particular interest in the electronic countermeasures and the systems that were defining the electronic countermeasures to define cyber practices from both sides of the war zone. I was fortunate enough to work alongside some of the most amazing humans in all facets and cultures in life, experiences that have changed me and my outlook on life for the better. Now, the role of a modern day Special Forces soldier, much like the role of the predicating Special Forces soldiers, is to be critically minded. It is to be adaptable and a self-aware soldier that understands their role as a member of the team as much as it does of itself as an individual. The mindset that is required needs to have certain metrics that will allow the trainability to an ever-evolving threat landscape, extending multiple domains of warfare with the best interests of the mission at hand. Without this and some core metrics, those seeking to be an enabling force to the Special Forces community do not progress through the forces journey. Now, some of those metrics I wanted to leave you with today in the last few minutes I have, and if you miss out on the rest of this, please join me at my longer speech at SynCon later in the week, where I'll be talking about the mindset and some of these in a bit more detail. Now, I'll talk you through what it takes to be a Special Forces soldier in the mindset I just mentioned, and some of those key learnings that take us from that initial start state to the future state, which is constant pursuit of excellence. Now, I'll talk about cybersecurity with the vehicle analogy, and I use the vehicle analogy because it is ever-changing. Now, I want to picture yourself inside a vehicle. You're looking through the rear vision mirror, and the reason you're looking through the rear vision mirror is to learn from history in order to provide the best state in forward looking. You need to have a true historical knowledge of what cybersecurity is. And this goes back to the dates of the early implementation of Special Forces in warfare. Currently in modern warfare, we learn from those mistakes, and it is just as pertinent to learn from those mistakes so we don't make the same mistakes in the future. I mentioned trainability earlier. If you can't learn from history, your trainability isn't quite up to standard. Trainability is a key in any cybersecurity realm, whether you're an analyst, whether you're a leader, or whether you're joining at an internship level. Trainability is critical at all levels of cybersecurity to learn from history to then bring us into the vehicle where we're sitting inside in the present. When we're inside the vehicle and we're present, we can see all that around us. We need to have critical awareness. We need to understand what our threat landscape looks like. And we need to see, as the threat landscape is changing, as we're driving through the vast differences within the terrains, of what the threats are as they're coming towards. So a Special Forces mindset needs to be adaptive. It needs to have self-criticality. It needs to have self-development. And these three things, awareness, self-criticality, and self-development, play a pivotal role in who you are as a cybersecurity expert or a cybersecurity leader. Next is understanding the team. This is also inside the vehicle analogy. What is around you? What does that self-awareness look like? We have a steering wheel, we have passengers, we have people in the back, but it's not just the physical team. It's not just the people that are with you day to day. It's not just the people that are third party assisting you in your cybersecurity risks posture. It is also the tools. It's also the vehicle in this instance. It's the engine that drives us there. It's the gearbox that allow us to change speeds. It's the windows that allow us to take down and see, and allow us to get that awareness piece. We need to understand our team, not just from the people and the people around us. We need to understand that our team is also our vendor technologies that we build together in a cybersecurity fabric that really provide us the capability and the metrics to be able to defend our organization's digital ecosystem. Once we understand that and we can truly adopt to what our technologies are aware, we can then become truly aware of what our team is and what our team is capable of. We need to understand team criticality. We need to understand if one thing falls over, do we have vendor in depth or defense in depth and the strategies that will take us from that criticality to the point of changeover? Do we have role crossover? Do we understand each person in that team's role? And if that person isn't there for that day, if that person, something happens, who can take over that role? We need to have role crossover. And again, that doesn't extend from the people in the room, that extends to your vendor technologies. We need to understand the team in a holistic sense in order to provide security and cyber resiliency. And lastly is the windscreen. We need to be forward thinking. In forward thinking, we can achieve the constant pursuit of excellence. And that is really the end state of a special forces mindset, is to be on the constant pursuit of excellence. How do we do that in this forward-looking piece? We adopt a rehearsal of concepts, something in special forces we did every single day. We provided and performed rehearsals of concepts, whether that was tabletop exercises or whether that was physical exercises on the ground. Understanding every remit and every length of our role and our vendor technologies role to maximize that technical in depth. Now, the tech in depth, as I mentioned in the inside the vehicle piece, we need to really maximize what our vendor technologies are capable of in our instance. I talk to organizations all the time, and I guarantee you that once in 3 conversations, the vendor technologies they've got in their systems are there to provide a certain outcome, but by proxy, they can allow us to do a lot more. So we need to understand the breadth of capability within our vendor technologies within our stack. These 4 key things are not just the basis of a special forces mindset, but they are the pieces that cross over into cybersecurity dramatically and allow us to learn, allow us to grow, and allow us to understand where our left and rights of arc are in terms of a cybersecurity posture uplift. There's a great quote down the bottom there. We aren't makers of history, we are made by history. We need to learn from history so that we can grow in the future. Join me for my longer speech on Friday as we go through and delve further into this special forces mindset and how it adopts into a cybersecurity model.